It is in and of itself divisive because it wants you to separate people by their race and classify people as either oppressors or oppressed based on the color of their skin.
My guest today is Jessica Mendez, Vice President of Fight for Schools and Loudoun County mom, who was the target of a harassment campaign that accused her of being a racist. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So I think it would be best if we just start out with this story. How were you harassed and accused of being a racist?
Well, it started with a private Facebook group where 6 of the 9 school board members are member of this group that created a list of parents to target. They wanted to silence them, hack their websites, infiltrate, shut down businesses, expose these people publicly. And once that list was created, I got a hold of the list and I said, somebody has to do something. My friends are on this list because they spoke up at school board meetings.
Right.
They're speaking up about reopening schools. Why are they on a list to be targeted for being against critical race theory? I don't understand what's going on here. So shortly after that, we decided to form Fight for Schools, but then I became more vocal in my advocacy against critical race theory, and I had my neighbor across the street flip off the cameras behind me when I was giving an interview on my front porch, and I thought we were friends. I thought that everything was going to be fine. Like, I had no idea. I actually had him play it back the video because I didn't believe him. And I was shocked. I couldn't believe that somebody I thought was a friend was going to treat me in this way. And I've since had 2 letters sent to my employer, and with posters basically of pictures of me at events that I've been at, and saying that calling me a racist and how dare they employ a known racist. My lovely neighbor, when I walked to the school bus, through the bus stop, she screams at me from across the street, and it's unsettling that so many people are just trying to target you because you're speaking up, and it's just not fair or right.
Absolutely, and I'm so sorry you're having to deal with this, but do you find that critical race theory is a topic that's really dividing the members of this community? Like, it sounds like this is like friend and friend, neighbor and neighbor are now at each other's throats because of this topic.
It is. It's something that is very divisive. It is in and of itself divisive because it wants you to separate people by their race and classify people as either oppressors or oppressed based on the color of their skin. They want to classify people based on all these categories and divide them up and say that some people are less than, and that's not how I was raised. I was raised to judge people by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. And I don't understand why people would want these theories applied in the classroom.
Now, this was an issue that actually got quite a bit of traction during the Virginia gubernatorial election. So Terry McAuliffe, who was the Democratic candidate for governor, was relatively anti-school choice, parents' rights, and education, whereas Governor Glenn Youngkin, who was eventually elected, tended to side more with parents and their ability to choose in schools. Has that panned out in the sense that his governorship has reflected what his campaign promises were? Oh,
yes, absolutely. I mean, day one, he issued executive orders. He has since issued more. He's working with the Attorney General, side by side to make the legislation happen that we need to do in order to, execute everything. I feel like finally we have somebody who truly wants to represent parents and knows how important our role is in our children's education, whereas McAuliffe said that we didn't,
right.
That we weren't important and we had no right to say anything about what was being taught to our kids in school. So I've seen the changes that he started with, and I'm very hopeful for the future for more change. We're very inspired.
In the aftermath of a lot of these incidents, like the letters that you've received, have things gotten any better? Have you noticed that things are kind of calming down a little bit, or is the fight still as hot as it was in the past?
The fight is still hot. Once you become vocal and seen more, and you're the victim of more attacks. They just come for you more. I feel like people are, I don't know, maybe they try to do anything possible, to defeat you, and it's hard to explain, but it's just, I feel like it has gotten worse. Now there's another political action committee that's simply formed just to target us and fight for schools. I feel like they should have started on their own merits and not just to counter us. So things like that have happened. So it's been crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
It's been crazy.
It sounds crazy. Well, as one final question for you, I'm curious, do you think this is a fight we are winning? Do you think that this is something we can say, we're making progress, keep it going, we're going to do it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're winning. And I'm constantly reminded by all of the wins we've had along the way this last year. And to be invited to speak at CPAC has been an incredible experience. People are constantly coming up to me, strangers, saying, thank you for what you're doing. Here, people are coming up to us, oh, you're the Loudoun County moms. You did it. Thank you. People are coming up to us, they're crying. And they're saying, I live in Virginia, or I have family in Virginia, and we appreciate it. Or I'm in Seattle, or I'm all over the country. And they're like, I'm going to try it too. I'm doing what you're doing. And we've motivated people. We've showed our courage, and that's given them courage. And it's been the most inspiring and surreal experience to know that we helped start a parents' movement, a revolution to teach people that they can make a difference too. I used to think that speaking at a school board meeting is not going to make a difference. I have 1 minute. What am I going to accomplish in 1 minute every 2 weeks? They're not going to listen. But it's everybody at home. They were the ones who needed to hear me and hear everyone and all the parents speaking up at the meeting and getting awareness of the issues and saying to everyone else, you can do this too.
That's great. Well, that was Jessica Mendez, Vice President of Fight for Schools, and a Loudoun County mom who was accused of being a racist and harassed in a targeted campaign. Jessica, keep up the good fight. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.